Willliam Clinton, who served from 1993 to 2001, was overall an average president. He maintained a good economy, represented the majority of the people, and stuck to his legislative agenda. While he did lose public support in the Monica Lewinsky scandal, and through many mistakes he made throughout his administration, he still remained one of the only presidents to have a high public approval rating.
Chief Legislator. The President, although not having the power to make laws, can voice his personal ideas and opinions to Congress while they draft legislation. This is implemented through speeches promoting his agenda, meeting with Congress to discuss policies, use of the veto power, and the State of the Union address. We gave Bill Clinton a B- in this category. Some of the positive things he did included seeking legislation to upgrade education and protecting jobs of those who must care for their sick children. Although there are many other positives, there were also a couple of negatives. Bill Clinton caused the failure of a huge program of healthcare reform. In addition, his Health Security Act legislation failed. Overall, we gave President Bill Clinton a B- under this category because although there are many positives, there were just as many negatives.
As Chief Executive, the President is authorized to administer the laws and affairs of the nation. In order to fulfill this, the President must enforce the laws in a way that keeps criminals off the street and keeps America safe. However, being too strict and not giving anyone any freedom is not what the President should do. The goal should be for the President to get criminals who endanger others off the street. President Bill Clinton was given a B- for Chief Executive for multiple reasons. During his time as President, the crime rate fell every year. By the end of his 2 terms, it was the lowest it had been in 26 years. However, the number of federal prisoners doubled, and 58% of those were serving for drug-related issues. Also, Clinton had given out 450 pardons in his presidency, 140 of which were on his last day. Some of these pardons were good because they were shortening the terms of some people who were in jail for drug-related issues and weren't really bothering anyone. However, some of the other people he pardoned were in jail for more serious crimes.
Commander-in-Chief. The President is the Commander-in-Chief of the U.S. Armed Forces. That means all of the military leaders report to and take orders from the President. Bill Clinton received a B+ in this category, and we graded him for this position based on how he handled military issues during his presidency from the years 1993 to 2001. Some of the good things that he accomplished included creating the Don't Ask, Don't Tell phrase, fulfilling a promise to end discrimination against gay persons in the military. Clinton also ordered a 4-day bombing campaign against Iraq in December of 1998 in response to Iraq's failure to cooperate fully with the United Nations weapons inspectors. So the negative things that he did included, in the last weeks of being president, he was unsuccessful in his efforts to broker a final peace agreement between the Israelis and the Palestinians. In conclusion, Bill Clinton earned a B+ in the category of Commander-in-Chief because although he was very successful in some categories, he had some failures as well.
Guardian of the economy. The president deals with issues such as unemployment, high prices, taxes, business profits, and the general prosperity of the country. He does not control the economy, but is expected to help it run smoothly. We give Clinton a C+. The president must allow the economy of the U.S. to undergo a period of prosperity in order to receive an A. There must be visible improvements, and it is great to have budget surpluses. But one's grade is hurt by failures, incurred debt, and is extremely affected by a government shutdown. During the Clinton administration, our nation enjoyed a period of great peace and economic prosperity. One can look to the administration to find the lowest inflation in 30 years, the lowest unemployment rate of modern times, decreasing crime rates, and a reduced role of welfare. Additionally, he was able to propose the first balanced budget in decades. In 1997, one which ended with a surplus. His Taxpayer Relief Act also was successful in cutting $152 million in taxes, but opponents say that he cannot take credit for this improved economy during his presidency because it was saturated with scandals. In 1994, Clinton's healthcare reform for universal coverage, written by his wife Hillary, failed after facing strong opposition. The failure enabled Republicans to gain control of Congress. The administration also had few early issues, such as incurred budget deficit being $60 billion worse than that of the previous president. He's also pointed to as the cause of the government shutdown in 1995 because of differentiating opinions over the budget between Democratic president and Republican-controlled Congress. This caused 800,000 employees to endure temporary leave and also cost the government millions of dollars. Therefore, President Clinton receives a C+ for his role as chief guardian of the economy because his early failures to uplift the economy. His initial effort plunged our economy into deeper debt and ultimately resulted in a government shutdown. On the other hand, his grade is uplifted with a plus because he was able to improve the economy in his second term as chief of party. In this role, the president helps members of his political party get elected or appointed to office. The president campaigns for those members who have supported his policies. At the end of this term, the president may campaign for re-election with his party support. We gave Clinton a B-. The president under consideration must have served at least 2 terms, showing a level of popularity among the people and the ability to permeate the government with his or her party label. One must also be successful in maintaining a unified government. Clinton received 49% of the popular vote and 379 electoral votes when he elected for a second term in 1996, showing his popularity while also being the first Democrat elected to a second term since FDR. Throughout his administration, there was a notable increase in the number of minority court appointments as compared to those made by George H.W.Bush. In fact, about 194 of his 366 federal judicial appointments were minorities, such as women, Hispanics, or African Americans. In addition, Clinton also made several cabinet and senior advisor nominations, with a stark increase in those representing a minority group or race within society. And because minorities such as women and African Americans tend to lean towards a liberal ideology, this was a success for Clinton as chief of party. The failure of Clinton's health care reform, on the other hand, allowed the Republican Party to gain control of Congress with 7 Senate seats and 52 House seats in November 1994 midterm elections. This came at a great cost to Clinton, as the Republicans used their control to restrict the flow of Clinton's goals throughout Congress. Overall, Clinton was clearly successful at increasing diversity, but more importantly, Democratic membership throughout the government. But the major setback he faced with Congress completely took a toll on his grade.
The President's role as Chief of State is to represent the United States at public events. It is mainly a ceremonial role that allows the President to promote American values. In order to fulfill this, the President must be there for America during its toughest times and most important events to promote American values. The President also has to be willing to give a helping hand to show America what this nation is really about. President Bill Clinton was given an A- for Chief of State, mainly for his role in the OKC bombings. He ordered for all flags of federal buildings to be flown at half-staff for the next 30 days. Also, 4 days later, he gave a speech at Oklahoma City discussing what had happened and saying how his thoughts and prayers go out to the victims. The Memorial Fund was set up to help the victims of the bombing, which Clinton gave $300,000 in federal grants to, but Clinton did not give any major federal assistance to the victims of the bombing.
Chief Diplomat. The role as a diplomat involves interacting with leaders from other nations. The President takes the lead in foreign relations by associating with foreign leaders and developing a foreign policy with other nations through treaties and trade agreements. One must have a record characterized by success, intelligent diplomacy, and great assistance to foreign nations without causing conflict. We gave Clinton a C. He helped Northern Ireland achieve peace and spent time in Middle East trying to achieve peace. He successfully passed the North American Free Trade Agreement, which eliminated tariffs and trade restrictions between the U.S., Canada, and Mexico, which is both a pro and con because it was opposed by many labor unions, but was also seen to increase jobs. He was also able to get former Soviet nations to surrender their nuclear arsenals. The President failed, however, to deal with the threat of Osama bin Laden, whose terrorist attacks on September 11th caused thousands of deaths. He was also hesitant to take action to stop a genocide in Rwanda. His failure to act caused more than 500,000 Tutsis' deaths. Critics also accused Clinton of appeasement when he gave China the most favored nation status. With average record of action involvement, Clinton deserves a C in this category. He undoubtedly assisted many nations, but many negatives weigh this down. And lastly, we have sex appeal. This is the quality of being attractive in a sexual way. We gave Clinton an A-. In order to receive a B or higher, the president must have been sexually involved during his term as president. It is even more impressive to have been impeached and removed from office as a result of these scandalous actions. President Clinton receives an A- in this category because during his second term as president, he was sexually involved with a young White House intern, Monica Lewinsky, and in 1998, as a result of these personal indiscretions, Clinton was the second U.S. president to be impeached by the House of Representatives. He was tried in the Senate and not found guilty, therefore only receives an A- in this category.